You know, we're talking about how the church community, the religious community can engage with, the cities and their communities.
Nation building.
Nation building.
Nation building.
And, and I come from Alberta, just outside of Edmonton, St. Albert, and we've had, city council have come to us and said, we want you to help do the block parties. And it's been phenomenal. Now, Mayor Cam, tell me, in your community, how are you seeing, with the working between the faith communities and also with the city?
And this is so good because this is Ontario, Alberta, right? And in Guelph, Ontario, it has not been friendly for you always to be a faith-based mayor.
Yeah, there was a little bit of pushback, I think maybe more during the election. But after the election, I mean, when I said I am the mayor for all, I truly am the mayor for all. And so when I'm reaching out to any faith-based community, whether it be Muslim or Sikh or Hindu or Christian or Catholic, it doesn't matter. I'm coming to them because I'm trying to make the city better for everyone that's there. And they, especially when I'm noticing through a lot of the refugee crisis over the last couple of years, I have just seen them all come together, working as stakeholders along with the city to make our city better for those newcomers that are coming here. It's been a tremendous, tremendous strength by all of us working together as one.
And Michael, really, it is a two-way street. It's good for the city, the town, wherever we are across Canada, and also for the faith community to be involved. Because sometimes you feel like, they're not interested in what we're talking about, but that's not really the case.
Yeah, if you as it were, back up the bus and kind of look at the history of planning and urban planners and their interaction with faith-based communities, and the same thing, faith-based communities' interaction with the city. These oftentimes are two communities that just do not play together. And it's not because there's animosity, although sometimes that may exist. Largely, we talk about amnesia. And so if you look at the urban planning community, we need to challenge the urban planning community to say, faith-based institutions are key parts of your social infrastructure. They need to be integrated into your official plans, into your zoning bylaws, that kind of thing. On the other hand, faith-based communities need to show up. They need to come to council meetings. They need to give input on official plan changes. They need to be integrated. Cities are structurally durable over a long period of time. It's hard to change them when roads are built and when subdivisions are built. Faith-based communities need to be there day one, explaining and sharing how they can actually offer their gifts to the community. It's called loving your neighbor as yourself. That's what it's really
And I
called.
think I read that somewhere in a book.
Yeah, fair game.
And Brian, that's what you've done so extensively in actually going from zero to thousands of people that you're serving at fairs, at the carnival. Do you get a chance then, do you feel, to input into other elements in the city?
Yeah, so we now, after a decade of serving, we get invited to many of the tables. So for example, the Gretzky Center, a couple years ago, they put a big addition on, $60 million. So they said, Brian, will you come and bless it? I said, yes, I will. But it's because you show up and do something. It's because you're, I say often, you can't have influence without involvement. And so you can't just say, hey, I'm sitting in my church, please come and do something for me. It doesn't work that way.
Let's talk now about this social isolation issue, because I tell you, that is one thing Huntley Street knows about this country. It must be vastly, there's a lot of social need. We get 1,200 phone calls here every day. And some days I look at those and I think half of those are just lonely. They're just lonely. So Neil, what does a church need to do, or any faith community, any faith-based Canadian who's trying to do nation building on this issue of social isolation?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the very practical need. So you see in Toronto and really across the country, churches opening up their doors to out of the cold. And so there are folks who are alone on the street, and they can come, get a hot meal, and get a place to stay, and a person and a volunteer that cares. Dixon Hall provides the services for the city to be able to implement out of the cold. The other is, as we talk about how we build up the physically build, are churches making great use of their own lands? Are they building areas in terms of, are they building a hospice on a parcel of land, or affordable housing or long-term care? Are they really utilizing the true value of the great gifts that they've been entrusted with?
Yeah, 3 churches I know of in Vancouver have used their property, one even their parking lot, to build affordable housing on.
It's so needed, it's so important, and it's a wonderful outward expression of our inward faith.
Wow, well, this has been a very challenging panel on nation building. I'm going to close with, remember the HALO calculator, right?
HaloProject.ca.
haloproject.ca.
And there's the calculator right there.
And you can, if you're in a small community, if you're in a municipality, or if you're in a mega city like Vancouver or Calgary, type in what you think your faith components are bringing to the city, and it will calculate for you, and just move a little closer to great politicians like city mayors like yourselves and others, right, Cam?
Sure, why not?
All right.
I'll take that.
Okay, so thank you to our panel, Neil Hetherington from the
Dixon Hall.
Dixon Hall,
Dixon Hall,
from
yeah.
Dixon Hall, building the infrastructure of the city. Brian Beattie from Brantford and the Freedom Center there. Michael Van Pelt of Cardis, and Cam Guthrie, the mayor of Guelph. Thank you very much
Thanks for having me.
being with us.